What if I told you that you would receive $10,000 cash, meet your soulmate, and receive your dream job if only you were to forgive everybody that you hold resentments against? Would you do it? Would you be willing to do the work? There's toxic money beliefs running through the whole system. My name's Amity Rose from amityrose.co. I am a women's empowerment coach and certified hypnotherapist. The whole channel is devoted to empowering women to remember their worth, their value, and their power. You guys are in for such a treat today, you guys. I'm Amity Rose, certified hypnotherapist and women's transformation expert. If forgiveness is not a part of your daily practice, you're missing out on some serious abundance. That question that I asked earlier is absolutely can be true. Your abundance may look different than $10,000 or a soulmate job or whatever, but the idea here is when we don't forgive, when we hold resentments, when we refuse ourselves peace by letting something go, we are keeping ourselves in a restricted state where we're not allowing goodness in. So it is factual 100% that if you're holding resentments, if you haven't let go of something, if you haven't forgiven, you are restricting yourself, not only of feeling better, right, by healing and forgiving, but there's actually abundance that you're withholding from yourself because you're refusing to let this go. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. Like, that's real. So forgiving is actually twofold. Let me tell you the name of the video. I'm gonna teach you guys today how to forgive and let go. And not just that, but like the importance, the magnitude of what we're talking about here, why it's so radically important for you to do this work. It is never, ever, 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 ever for the other person. It is 100% of the time, it is for you. It is for your release, it is for your peace, it is for you being able to ascend, to evolve, to manifest the things that you want. Forgiveness is required because forgiveness is energetic. Because can you see forgiveness? It's not like a car, a house, a dog, a plant. Forgiveness is unseen because it's energy. So we're talking about the energetics of forgiveness here because that's what's at play. All right, so let's get into it. How do I really forgive and let go? I'm gonna be honest, as I am in all my videos, it takes practice. This is not a one and done deal. It will take practice, but the really important part is that you wanna practice so much that it becomes a part of who you are. It becomes a part of your being. You become a person who doesn't have to forgive, but you're a forgiving person. That's what we're after. That's what we're going for. And that person receives all the goodness and abundance that is their birthright. Because when you are unwilling to forgive, unwilling to untie all that energy that you have wrapped up in a person, place, situation, you're holding back your own joy, your own peace. You're denying yourself those feelings, those good feelings of release and letting go. Forgiveness is for you, not for them. So stay with me. We're gonna walk through. I'm gonna give you a couple of techniques to try, but I just wanna preface it. It takes practice. You will have to practice, and it's not that easy. So it's worth it though. It's so worth it because remember the question in the beginning, your abundance is on the line. Your dream life, your manifestations, all the goodness that is yours, you literally are holding back from yourself because you're unwilling to forgive somebody. And I need to pause for a second and just make a note. Shitty things happen. Really awful things happen. People do wrong things. But I'm gonna repeat myself throughout this whole video. The forgiveness 100% of the time is for you. It is never, ever, 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 ever for them. So I'm gonna walk you through some practices that can help you. As always, get yourself professional help if this is something that you can't navigate yourself. There are people out there equipped, resourced, and ready to help you. So if it's very traumatic or something that you can't navigate alone, get yourself resourced. However, if we've got some minor stuff, like I had something it still kind of rubs me the wrong way, but I thought somebody did me wrong. And I think I did a video around when that was happening, or an IGTV or something. I was pissed. And every day, I'm like a couple weeks, I had to practice to let this go until like there was a shift in the energy. But it was daily for like at least 14 days. Like you have to put in work. If you're looking for like an easy, there's no easy way to forgive and let go. This is like an energetic work and emotional work that you have to put in. So if you're willing to put in the investment, stick with me. I've got some good stuff that will help you on your way. Number one, you've got to be willing. There has to be a willingness. If you don't have that, everything else I say is void. I mean, no, you're just gonna question, you're gonna reject, you're gonna deny. Like, the willingness has to be there. You have to be willing to forgive and let something go. The good news is willingness is like half the job. Just being willing. Like with my example, I wanted to let that go because I knew it wasn't hurting him at all. It was me. It was hurting me. I was so angry. It was like poison. You can feel it. It like festers in your body. And I was willing to forgive and let that go because I knew that it was gonna hurt me only. So your willingness is required. And if you've got the willingness, the desire to even be willing to wanna forgive, that's a win. That's a total win. So let's say that we've got the forgiveness. I've got my notes if you guys ever wonder why I look down, because sometimes I'll forget. So you've got your willingness. One of the best and most effective ways I have found to help is the Ho'oponopono prayer, which I don't know the whole roots and all about it, but I know that simply put, it is, I'm sorry, thank you, I love you, forgive me. And arrange that in any order that fits you, but it is basically a mantra. It's a prayer that you say that overlays any situation, and it helps to rewire the brain. If you listen to any of my videos, I always talk about repetition. That is how we change the way we think, or we change our beliefs, we communicate with the subconscious mind. So simply, I love you, thank you, forgive me, I'm sorry, in any order. And that actually, I was using that on this particular situation. Another one is, please God, let me see this differently. Because oftentimes we can't get another position. We're in our own perspective, and so it just looks like someone did us wrong. There are other traumatic events where it's very clear somebody did you wrong, but sometimes it's just arguments or it's just perspectives, and then there's actual, physical harm and trauma. And again, get yourself resourced. But as far as the energetics around it, that prayer is really powerful, asking God to help you see things differently. And what that does is expands from your one single perspective. You can then start to see from multiple perspectives. And this is part of being multidimensional. So the more you're on the spiritual path and the more you kind of access your third eye and expand your aura and all that, then you'll have access to these. We all have access, but as you're on the path, you'll start to notice things like that. You can actually jump from your perspective to another's, and you can actually hold multiple perspectives on the same situation. So there's that option. So when you pray for that, when you're unable to access it your own, when you pray for that, you can feel that expansion, and you can start to see like, okay, well, from this perspective, I could see how, they felt they were doing themselves justice. They were honoring themselves, and then it kind of loosens and moves. Remember, we're working with energy. Forgiveness is energy. It's not something you can see, taste, feel, touch. It's the energetics of forgiveness, and it will tie you up. It will bind you. If you think of it almost like as a rope, and anywhere you've got a resentment, you're not forgiving, you're bound. Your energy is bound, and that boundedness is blocking the goodness that's coming to you. Because, and I'm going to say it again because repetition, when you don't forgive, you are withholding your own goodness from coming. You're refusing to allow this to leave so that you can feel peace, joy, and happiness again. So why would the universe bring those things to you when you won't even accept them? It's like a wall that you've got. Like, I'm doing my best, but I'm hoping, and my hands are talking and all that, but it's literally a blockage. It's a block from all your abundance, all your joy, when you refuse to let this energetic rope situation go. It's a big deal. the very, 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 very good news is that when you do forgive, or when you practice forgiving, the floodgates open, and it is just a parade of goodness. And you'll start to notice that your manifestations quicken and more good things happen, because you said, I matter and I'm willing to forgive. And so you release those ropes, and energetically you become a match or to feeling better. And then the universe responds to that. So the universe is going to respond to your bondage, and the universe is going to respond to you letting go and being a match to higher vibrations. It all depends on you. So forgiveness is a big one, a big, big, big one. And like I said in the beginning, the idea here, the goal is to become someone who just naturally forgives. It isn't anything you have to try to do, it's who you are. So if you can put into practice these prayers, please God, let me see this differently. The Ho'oponopono prayer, I'm sorry, forgive me, I love you, thank you. Just those words. I mean, do you feel the vibration when I say them? Do you feel that? It's healing. And it sums up everything. If you said that to somebody, those 4 ideas all together, I mean, it sums up the whole thing. So imagine if you're just repeating that while you bring the incident to mind, or while you bring the person to mind. If you're just praying, God, let me see this differently, and then you're repeating, I'm sorry, I love you, thank you, forgive me. It's magic, you guys, it's magic, but it takes work and it takes practice. The other tool that I wanted to give you was, I am a writer, I'm a journaler. So it is writing out the forgiveness of yourself and why. I forgive you for blah, blah, blah. You forgive the people involved. I forgive so-and-so for whatever. And I actually did this on the situation I'm talking about. I mean, I pulled out all the stops. It's pretty much gone. I can feel the energetic shift. This will change you. This will change you, you guys. So you forgive the people, the situation, the circumstances that led up to what happened, and then the place. So wherever it happened, because places hold energies. If you go into a room, or if you go into a house, or even cities, or everything holds energy. So the place in which, wherever forgiveness that you're moving through. So you can do some journaling on those 4 elements, and that will help shift the energy, because remember, forgiveness is energy. So you guys, this is a powerful, powerful, powerful technique. And if you're on any kind of healing journey, and if you're in my community watching this, you are. Forgiveness is required. It's required if you're going to elevate. It's going to require if you're going to step into your full embodiment of being a human. It's required if you want abundance. It's required if you want to feel joy. It's required if you want to feel good. It's just required. It's a required way of living. And it feels good to forgive, because not forgiving is like bondage. And we're only ever inflicting that on ourselves, never them. So if I can get you to understand that, this is a self-inflicted bondage that we put our own selves in when we refuse to forgive. So you got to practice this with your past, but when you move into actually like the now moment and things are happening, you are resourced and you have tools, so you don't have to let something fester for 10 years anymore. You can address it in the moment. Like with the thing that happened like a month or 2 ago with this gentleman, I had the tools, and it took me like 2.5 weeks to move the energy, to shift it. I was mad. I felt wronged, and I used my tools. And then eventually the energy shifted, and it's almost completely gone. There's probably a little bit left, because I'm still a little bit frustrated, but not nearly as intense as it used to be. And that's the work. And then eventually what I see for myself and what I'm practicing on the daily is becoming someone who doesn't ever have resentments. And it's just my natural way of being, is being a place from forgiveness. That's my goal. That's where I'm at. Because why? I want to feel good. I want to live my dream life. I want to be a magnet for abundance and joy and happiness and success. And if I want those things, holding resentments toward other people, not a match. So what's more important? Holding those resentments and staying in bondage, or experiencing my dream life? My dream life is obviously priority. So I'm willing to forgive anyone, any place, anyhow, let it go. And it helps for me to have that vision, to have that goal of like, why am I doing this work? And that I didn't have this in my notes, but why are you forgiving? That's, for me, it's because I understand the energetics of forgiveness and that it only puts me in bondage. And then if I'm in bondage, I am not a match for any of the good things that I want. I'm a match for more bondage, for more reasons to resent people. Like it grows, right? What you focus on grows. So I get that that's what I would be creating, because I have created that in the past and I didn't like it. I get that that's what would happen. So I know that I'm magnetizing this dream life, and holding resentments and being angry at people doesn't fit in that picture. And it's actually gonna hold me back from the very thing that I want. Why would I do that? I won't. So it's not to say that like people won't piss me off, like said guy in my example. I do the work to move it, to shift the energy, because I don't want to hold on to that. I'm not interested in holding resentments or putting myself in bondage. No, thank you. So I know this will help you so deeply. It takes work, it takes practice, it's worth it. I love you. Instagram, TikTok, the podcast, all of it. Go listen, check me out. If you're interested in becoming a client, I have one-on-one spots open, as well as working with me privately in hypnotherapy. You can get more info on the website. I'd be honored to work with you on this journey. Leave a comment. Let me know how you like the videos. If there's something that you want me to talk about, tell me. Subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate your support, and I'll see you guys next week. And forgiveness, because that's what's at play.